Hello everybody. So, really awesome hack today. I bought an almond cow months ago now in the summer, and you can make almond meal from all of the pulp you use to make your homemade non-dairy milk. Rather than buying almond flour or walnut flour, I just use the almond cow meal to replace in gluten-free recipes or in recipes where I just don't want to include flour. So I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. Let's get to it. So the first step is to preheat your oven to 250 to 275 Fahrenheit. I had a ton of almond pulp, so this is how I prefer to do it, but you want to have it all at room temperature. Then take a large baking tray, add a baking mat or parchment paper, whatever you have, but I highly recommend a baking mat because they're reusable and they last a really long time. Add all of your pulp, spread with a spoon or spatula as thinly as possible until it reaches the outer edges of the baking tray. If it's not completely even, it's not a big deal. You just want it to be really nice and even so it bakes evenly. Bake in the oven for 1.5 to 2 hours, turning the tray halfway. Now that's just gonna bake really low and slow until it's basically dehydrated. You can also do this in a dehydrator, but I sometimes think the oven works just a little bit faster if you're really in a pinch with time. So you want to lay it super thin on a baking mat in a large baking tray, because I typically save up until there's a lot of almond meal, as the process does take about an hour to 2 hours to completely desiccate the entire mixture. You're gonna pretty much let it chill in the oven for about an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how much pulp you're drawing out. At 250 Fahrenheit, 275 Fahrenheit, you really don't want to go above that 300 number, because then it starts to bake quite a bit for that long duration of time. So we'll check back in a second to see, well, in several hours, to see how it turns out. Cool. Pull out your almond pulp a couple hours later, and it should be really nice and toasted brown. The edges will be slightly darker than the middle, but this is totally normal. Then, with a spatula or your hands or a spoon, whatever's easiest, any tool of preference, you're going to take the pulp from the baking mat and carefully break it apart and add it to a blender, as we'll then blend it on high speed to make really finely ground almond meal. Some of the sections may still be cooling. You want to add everything once it's completely cooled, so make sure to let it chill on the countertop for about 30 to 40 minutes before blending until really nicely ground. You'll have to maybe stop and give the edges a little bit of a brush, but once it's ready to go, it'll be super fine like a powder. Add it to a Tupperware, preferably glass, and you can keep it in the freezer for up to 6 months or in the fridge. This way it lasts the best and it won't get super frozen. It'll be nice and crumbly anytime you want to use it for a bake. If you guys like this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel for weekly videos every Friday and daily shorts. See you next time.